Hello and welcome back to our gemstone project. We're almost finished, and I thought I'd share a couple more tidbits that I picked up along the line as we were putting together our gemstone project after we had taken down our vinyl siding for electrical tips. So you'll have these junction boxes that you'll discover when you take down your vinyl siding, and many times because the vinyl siding is so thin, a lot of times it'll get mounted right on top of the vinyl siding. It's a good idea for them to cut around it and seal it, but in this case, especially with the gemstone being a thicker product, you're going to want to mount these junction boxes. Yours might be square, ours happen to be round, to the plywood on top of the paper, just like you're seeing me do here. You can also use this as a stencil to cut out, to mark on the gemstone product, as a tracing device to cut out your hole. This one just happened to be where the seam is, so it'll be half and half. But in any other case, you can use a hole saw to get the hole started, and then just make small incisions around the circumference of the circle or the box, in your case might be, and to produce your hole. So, and again, this gets mounted to the plywood, so it's sturdy and it's by code, and that'll come out well. So a couple other tips that I picked up along the way are these. When you have your pieces that you've cut out, this is the top side, you can use a coping saw, which has very small teeth, and the blade can be rotated. So this is a really nice device to cut out circles, like you saw I did here. And they don't have to be perfect, because your fixture, if it's anything like mine, can be a little forgiving because there's extra space around the mounting bracket. In this case, ours are kind of like lanterns, and there's more space than just that circle where there's room for error. So the hole that you're going to make doesn't have to be perfect. You can even, when you trace it, don't be afraid to use a marker, because it's a big thick line, it's going to show up. No, it's actually going to be hidden behind your plate, more than likely. So a couple of little things here. I discovered that I needed longer studs. The earlier fixture was mounted on top of vinyl siding, and it just needed these shallow, I'm going to guess they're like 1.25 inch screws. But when I went to go mount my light fixtures back on the house, as you see there, I needed longer studs. So I'm going to just recommend you go to your home improvement store and pick these up. These are number 832 is the popular thread, at least here in New Jersey, in the US, that you'll want to pick up, that are standard issue for these junction boxes. One last tip, and this is going to be very helpful, to not just keep insects out, but also keep the water from getting behind your light fixtures, because the stone product has a lot of different facets to it. So if you see here, there's a lot of gaps behind this fixture. So I haven't applied the putty just yet, but they call it electrician's putty. And you're going to take that and fill it in between all these gaps, usually at least about about 1 inch wide, thick behind here. So it's going to be about that big. And you might need to get more than one block, and they're just a few dollars. They look like this. In this case, they happen to call it duct seal. Okay. It's a gray putty, so it's an earth tone, so it will blend with your product. Especially in this case, we have the desert sunrise tones that we purchased for a home, so it matches the color scheme. And you'll find this on your home wherever your breaker box is, and there's a large wire coming in that's 220, 480, whatever it is, and the electricians will take this putty and they'll put it around that wire, because it's an irregular space and there might be, an oddball cut in the side of the house, and they'll fit this in there, and it's usually tucked way in there, kind of like you would for caulking, to seal that wire opening up really well. And so insects don't get in there either, but more importantly, they don't want the water going in under that wire. So get a couple of these little bricks. If you have a couple of fixtures on your house, fill in all those crevices, and I think you're going to be really happy with this product. The people like Zach that literally picked up the phone, I didn't think I would get somebody like the fellow that did their videos for the demonstrations on their website, but he picked up the phone and I spoke to him several times. What a friendly guy. And the shipping and receiving, the customer service was fantastic. We had one piece that was broken in half. It was the large corner pieces that you get, and they shipped me one out in just a couple of days, FedEx. It was a piece of cake dealing with these people. So excellent customer service. I highly recommend it, and have fun with your gemstone project. Take care.